This is Radar for On the Radar Table Blog, coming to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observation, episode number 13, A Baker's Dozen, unlucky 13. And as I said, when the library's closed down, Des Plaines Library ran out of stuff, didn't have enough for 2 months, then you add to the fact that I was using Hoopla, Canopy, and I was using Netflix, and then a site that you don't want to get viruses on your computer. That's how I was watching movies. And I'm getting to a point where I'm at the end of watching movies that are online. I can watch them directly from the computer. And the first thing I watched was Don't Let Go. Oh, David Owalia, he plays a cop who's trying to prevent the murder of his family. And Michael Williamson plays his longtime partner. Brian Tyree Henry plays his brother. And his brother has problems. And his brother's always flaky on the daughter. So Uncle Jack, who David Owalia plays, the detective, has such a close relationship with his niece, Ashley. And they spend a lot of time together. It's like more of a father-daughter relationship. But then he finds out his family dies, and he's trying to figure out who did it and why. Was it a suicide murder? Did a drug thing go bad? Yada, yada, yada. And it's been killing him. That's all he's trying to figure out. He doesn't want to take time off. He's just doing the case. And his bosses are like, you got to take time off, bro. Let somebody else look into this. Then, of course, he gets a call from his niece, and it's from the past, and it's confusing because it's a science fiction where if you have the chance to fix your life, something happened in the past, would you do it? Sure. So that's a cliche thing, and you saw it coming, where the whole point of the movie is to try to save his niece, even if he can't save his brother or sister-in-law. But yeah, I gotta save my niece. And every attempt he does, he almost dies, and he tries again and again and again until he finally gets it right, and he can save her. And then he learns more things about his brother getting back into illegal stuff, that his longtime partner who was looking into the case was a dirty cop, and that the only way to stop the dirty cop from killing him is if the niece and the path goes to him, and he saves her so she can save him. Very cliched and go, science fiction, you can save the thing. And we all knew he was going to go save his niece, no matter whoever. And then, it's his partner at the end, whoop-de-frickin-do, that the movie, for an hour and 47 minutes, it didn't drag on because it was more of an investigative type of movie, not really a psychological. It was like they're calling it a thriller, a horror thriller, or science fiction. Yeah, there's some science fiction in there, but it was really cliche, and that's not always the time. It's not a bad movie. It just wouldn't be the movie I'd go and watch right away. Then I saw a Keira Knightley movie based on the true story of Katharine Gun, the woman who gave secrets away, posted stuff to a newspaper, supposedly, to saying that it was wrong for the war in Iraq and that she doesn't want people to die. And I've been watching these British movies or movies about spies or people leaking crap. And Judi Dench's character did it because she wanted the Russians to have atomic bombs. This one is she just wanted people to know that what they're doing, because she wanted the UN to stop the invasion of Iraq with the votes and stuff. And then she's breaking the law of the Secrets Amendment. You can't share secrets. And Matt Smith from Doctor Who is the reporter who wrote the story and was reporting on it and was on her side. Ralph Fiennes played the lawyer who was on her side. And there's actors in the movie I've seen before. But for a movie, and the movie is an hour and 12 minutes with credits. It was dragging on and on and on. Yes, it's based off a true story, based off a book. Yada, yada, yada. You want to get it correct. But who cares about her husband, who's an illegal, who they threatened to deport him, and you got to deal with that, and her case. And it's all drawn out and stuff. The movie could have been an hour and a half to an hour, 40 minutes at most, without the unneeded drama. And other reporters that are doing other different stories, and yada, yada, yada. So again, Official Secrets wasn't a bad movie. I just wouldn't waste my time running off to see it. And then the movie Killer Man with Liam Hemsworth, who, he was in Hunger Games and other movies, but he's not the leading brother of the family. He's more of a good supporting one, and this is like a cliche crime film where he's the anti-hero. He does diamonds, and then he works with his friend whose uncle runs a lot of mafioso type of things, and he owns a lot of real estate, money deals, and it basically is, okay, the uncle says don't run any deals because the cops and the people are onto us, so don't do it. The nephew, who's friends with Liam Hemsworth, named Skunk, goes, let's do a drug deal with our friend FedEx, played by Suraj Sharma. And it was nice to see Suraj Sharma from God Friend of Me in another movie recently, because the show's over and he's in something. But yeah, then it's a setup with the Nigerians and dirty cops. And they have the dirty cops after them. And then because they use the uncle's money for these drugs, whatnot, that the uncle's crew, shady crews after them, and they're in a cat and mouse game, and they crash the car. Liam Hemsworth has amnesia; he doesn't remember who he is, and his friend got to help him out. Because with the drugs and the dirty cops coming after them, the dirty cops then find out that he has a girlfriend with a baby, Hemsworth, and it's all Anita because he doesn't remember he has a girlfriend or a baby, and it's leverage, and somebody dies, or they don't die, or the baby dies, whatever. It's just so much going on, involving illegal trade with Nigerians, Siraj's drug dealing, the skunk's uncle and all the other stuff, and him being a diamond guy who gets into this stuff and doesn't know anything about drugs. And the movie kind of drags on for a bit, even though it's an hour and it's 12 minutes. It's an hour 50-minute movie at most with credit, but it's dragging on, and that he's got this amnesia, and he's just trying to stay alive, and that eventually he's going to hopefully come out on top and survive, and him and his friend are going to leave, but because he has amnesia, the plot twist is, he's really an undercover cop agent trying to take down that whole ring of Skunk's uncle and these corrupt cops. Yeah, so it's all over the place of a movie. He's not a leading actor, and a lot of it wasn't believable. Yeah, there's fast cars, drugs, and all this other, and some interesting actors in there, but yeah, don't watch Killer Man. Again, not a movie to run to. Then the movie The Death of Dick Long. It's not a black comedy drama. It's just a dramedy that was horribly written, horribly made about dumb people, and it was a dumb movie that shouldn't have been made. It takes place in the South. And Roy Wood Jr. plays the doctor, and he's a good comedic guy, and he's a Daily Show correspondent, but he's not believable as a doctor. So three friends, Dick Long, Zeke Olsen, and Earl White, they have a Nickelback, band, and they do Pink Floyd covers, Pink Floyd and stuff, and they get screwed up with drugs and alcohol. They're shooting bottle cans, shooting fireworks, just having a fun old time after band practice. And of course, one of their friends dies, Dick Long. And instead of, bringing him to the hospital with a severe injuries, they dump him in the front of the emergency room, and it's just John Doe, because he's left his wallet and ID. His daughter brings up the lost wallet and ID to a cop when they're at the store. There's blood in the car. These are stupid idiots who are trying to avoid going to jail. Even though they didn't really do anything, they should have just been like, okay, should have been the truth. Our friend died this way, blah, 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 that's it. Because it all spirals out, because one friend wants to leave town, quit his job, take all of his stuff with him. The other one just wants to play it cool, but with all the clues left in the house, they can't, trying to hide it from his wife, because the daughter then spills the beans, and then it's not believable that the sheriff is this old lady, and her new deputy is Sarah Baker, who's been in Better Things, and playing one of the teachers in Young Sheldon, and was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, playing a really stupid person. She's kind of typecast as the fat idiot. It's believable that she cracks the case, and all these other things in the small town. And Dick Long's wife has happened to be the teacher that, the teacher knows that the daughter goes there, so she's trying to, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then he tells his wife and she wants him to leave. Blah, 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 blah. And then the reality is he dies because one of them owns a horse and he screwed the other one to death. See, I didn't write this movie, I'm trying to be clean, but that's how dumb it is. Their friend dies, they won't say how it is because they're embarrassed, and they don't want anybody to know, and they try to hide it and do all things stupid. So it's a movie about dumb people being stupid, and it was a dumb movie that shouldn't have been made, and the premise was stupid. The only thing in the movie that was nice was Roy Woods Jr. was in it. But he's not a doctor, so that's not believable. Then I watched the movie Transit, which, this movie here, it says it's supposed to be a multilingual movie, but then when you watch it, it's German and French with English subtitles. And it's based on a novel about a guy taking on the impersonates a dead writer in an attempt to leave the fascist state. And he's trying to get to himself to America. And he falls in love with somebody. I'm not sure if it's the woman that he takes identity on, a death wife, and the son, or if it's this older woman. Because throughout the movie, there are different women he's out with on dates and doing things, falling in love. Then they eventually flee the country. And the movie is very slow moving, even though it was 141 minutes with credits. And of course, it's based off some true story and a novel, blah, 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 to escape World War II. He survives, the woman doesn't, yada, yada, yada. Just don't waste your time watching it. I don't care what the critics say. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And it's not about being a foreign film and watching a lot of subtitles. I was reading them, it just was, you know what I'm saying? And then the next movie I watched was 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, And that movie, there was no reason to make it. The first one had the whole suspense of, are the girls going to survive the movie? And it wasn't that long because it's supposedly a horror film and it's 80 to 90 minutes. So you're not spending that long in trying to survive. But they said, let's take an actress we never heard of named Sophie. Let's take Jamie Foxx's daughter, who's known as a model and a co-host. Let's take another actress for diversity, Asian woman, and then another woman in the movie who's Hispanic. And let's take some more Hispanic actors in the movie as well, and some black actors as well. And let's take Sylvester Stallone's daughter, who never really acted before. And then let's take Brett Bassinger, who's the star of Stargirl, who plays a goody two-shoe in Stargirl. And this one, she's playing the class bitch, excuse my language, class jerk in the movie and stuff. And the father, who people have seen before, this guy has been in other movies before, John Corbett. He does all these archaeological digs underwater and they're living somewhere else. Blah, 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 blah. And one of the friends been hanging out with the father's assistants. They said, let's go look at this underground thing we haven't seen before. And then, of course, there are blind sharks. Then there are regular sharks. Then they're running out of air. Then all this stuff. And people are dying right and left. People get selfish and trying to save themselves. And it's just like, there was no reason to make a sequel to this movie if the first one was okay. And a sequel really would involve the next character. They just did another reimagining with lots of talking and high school drama and not a lot of actual action happening in the movie. Then the final movie I watched was the animated movie Lion King being turned into live action. I've seen Cinderella, I've seen Beauty and the Beast, and I've seen Jungle Book. In terms of how many of these Disney movies, are being made, that's their thing now. We've made them animated movies. Now the goal is, let's make a live action Disney movie where the people are voiced by famous actors. And then they're singing in them, so we want them to be able to sing. There was Dumbo. I've seen that. I've seen Christopher Robin. I haven't seen Aladdin or Lady and the Tramp. But you're just saying to yourself, like, why? I know you want to make more money and it's a cool thing, but there was no point. Now, I like Donald Glover. He's voicing older Simba. They brought James Earl Jones back to play the father. Seth Rogen, I like, he's Puma. They brought Chiwetel Ejiofor, Scar. Billy Eichner is Timon. Alfre Woodard is Sabari. John Kani is Rafiki. John Oliver plays Zazu. Beyonce. They want to get her in the movie and singing so they can get the rights to her singing. And Florence Casbusa's in the movie. Keegan-Michael Key plays one of the hyenas. Eric Andre plays a hyena. They got Penny Johnson voices Nala's mother. Amy Sedaris is in it. Chance the Rapper's in it. Phil Lamar is in it. J.J. Lee's in it. From Orville, they got all these talented people, when really Jon Favreau should get talented voice actors to play these characters and talented people to sing. But hey, it was a good kids movie. It made you cry like the original one. A lot of singing, good numbers, good acting. So overall, it's the best movie I watched because it was a remake of a kids movie. Do not watch 47 Meters Down Uncaged. Don't watch Transit. Do not watch Killer Man. Definitely don't ever watch The Death of Dick Long. That's one you should never watch. If you were to watch Killer Man or Official Secrets, because Official Secrets is based off a true story, or the horror or the sci-fi detective movie Don't Let Go, that's totally fine. And even if you go and watch Killer Man, this bad cop movie, yeah, it's okay. Just don't watch Death of Dick Long. Thanks for listening to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observations. I'm Raider. See you guys next time.